we are writing algebraic expressions. We want to be able to translate phrases into algebraic expressions. Taking words and converting them into math is what we're doing. So all those words that you've learned throughout elementary school and into here. Go ahead. We want to make sure that we know how to turn those into math statements properly. So we have lots and lots of words that we use for addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. What are some of the words that you know that mean addition? Eva. Some. Very good. Yeah. Some. What if I said, what is the total? Blake, what were you going to say? Plus. Yeah, plus. Sure. What about, what does total mean? Does that mean adding them up? Yeah, sure does. Total. All right. So we have some, plus, total. What if I said a number, what if I said a number minus? What would that mean? Subtraction, minus, yeah. What if I said, what is the product of 5 and 9? What would that be? Multiplication, product, yeah. Product falls under multiplication. What if I said, what is the quotient of 6 and 2? Division, quotient, very good. These are the formal words, I guess I'd say. Let's see, what about 7 increased by 8? Addition, yeah, increased by, that'd be a way to say addition. What if I said, how many books did Bill and June read all together? What would all together imply? Addition as well, yeah, all together. All right. What if I said, Bob had 7 apples and ate 3. How many are left? Yeah, left. What if I said, like, 15 decreased by 4? Decreased by. Subtraction, yeah, decreased by. Girls, what were you going to say? Times, absolutely, times, very good. Times is definitely a multiplication word. What if I said, what is twice 15? Yeah, twice is a word that'd be 2 times, so that would imply TWICE, twice. I guess I can include what is like double 34? Multiplication, double would be times by 2, so we could do double. What's triple? Times by 3, yeah. So twice or double or triple, these are times by 2, times by 3, sort of saying that would be. Here's a really tricky one. When I say something like, what is 25% of 400? Of is actually a word that tells us an operation. What operation do you think of tells us? It's actually multiplication. Yeah, it's actually multiplication. Of 25% of 200, we would actually multiply the 0.25 times the 200. Okay. Let's see. And they put per on here. So I'm going to write down per. Can sometimes mean multiplication. Like if I said, is anyone running here? Got any runners? No. Billy. Billy runs about 10 miles per hour. All right, he runs 10 miles per hour. So if he ran for 2 hours, how many miles did he run? 20. Yeah. So if he runs 10 miles in 1 hour, then he'd run another 10 miles in another hour, so that would be a total of 20. Or it'd be 10 times 2. So sometimes per means multiply. Sometimes. So I'm going to maybe put quotes around that. Sometimes. Subtraction can be tricky. I'm going to write down less than and subtracted from. And we're going to give these big stars next to them. Less than and subtracted from, under the subtraction words, are very, very particular. Less than, when we say less than, than says we have to have something to compare it to. So if I said 5 less than 20, 5 less than 20, would we write 5 minus 20, or would we write 20 minus 5? We would write 20 minus 5. To be less than implies that you have to be smaller than another thing, okay? So there must be something else first. So this is how we would write 5 less than 20, all right? So we do have to be a little bit careful. And also subtracted from. The word from, we have to have something to go first, all right? So the other thing has to go first. So these two words are very particular. So less than and subtracted from. All right. Could we say for division, divided by? Yeah, divided by is very, very common. Separate is written down here. Yeah. Split is a good one. Split. Separated into 3 equal groups or split into 2 equal groups. These would all be words that help us with division. Yeah, Addison. What'd you say? Distribute. I would say shared maybe equally. I wouldn't use the word distribute just because it means something else in my mind, but shared equally maybe would all be good good words there. All right, fantastic. So these are all keywords that we pretty much know all the meanings of, so good for you. So these are turnaround phrases I already mentioned. Watch out for subtraction. Phrases like less than and subtracted from. Less than and subtracted from. And again, it's these words, the than and less and from. They have to have something else in front. So we have to sort of do them in a reverse order when we write them down. So be very careful. They sort of flip around kind of the different way. So we want to translate each expression into math. 5 more than a number. Do I know what the number is? No. And so when we're talking in our class about any old number, what do you suppose we use to represent? Yeah, an X or an N. I'm going to use N. N just to represent a number. So 5 more than a number. What should we write for our expression? Yeah, we've got a 5. And what would more than talk about? What operation is more than? Addition, very good. So 5 plus a number in. And that number could be an X, it could be a Y. We could make it any letter we want. That's what an unknown is. We can make it whatever letter we want. We don't know what it is, so we're just going to call it X, or maybe in this case N. The quotient of a number and -2. What's a quotient? What operation is that? Quotient? Division. Yeah, division. The quotient of a number. Do we know what the number is? No, what can we call it? N or X or Y? We can call it anything we want. I'm going to call it X this time. And -2. So the quotient of a number and -2. What do you suppose I should write down? Yeah, and I'm going to write it X divided by -2. I'm going to put it in a vertical form there. We don't usually use the division symbol, so we use the bar instead. Makes it easier. Twice a number. Twice. What do we have to do? Multiplication. And twice would imply we're multiplying by 2. Yeah, 2 times a number. What should we call the number now? Y. Sure. 2 times Y. Twice a number. Beautiful. A number decreased by 7. What should we call the number this time? A. Okay. A number decreased by, what's decreased by? Subtraction. So A minus 7. Most of the time it's pretty easy to translate these words into math expressions. Let's turn the page. All right, the product. What does product mean? Multiplication. The product of a number. Let's stop being creative. Let's just be boring and use an X. The product of a number and 12. What should we write? Yeah, we could write X times 12. We could write it that way. That would be totally fine. Usually we write the number first, and this would mean the same thing, 12x or 12 times x. We could put the multiply in there. Either one is correct. This is just more normal looking, I will say. All right, this is a big one. 3 subtracted from. 3 subtracted from a number x. Yeah, x minus 3. Very good. That is the tricky one. To be subtracted from, we have to have something to subtract 3 from first. So we have the x first, and then we are subtracting the 3. So 3 subtracted from a number. Let's see. Let's skip down to number 10. 50 markers divided among several students. 50 markers well, that's pretty easy. Divide is divided by. Among several students. Do we know how many students? No. What are we going to call it? X. Yeah. So 50 markers. I'm going to start with the 50 divided by several students. So 50 divided by X. What about number 11? 2/5 of a number. What does of mean for us? Multiplication. Multiplication. There should be 2/5 times some number, which we're going to call x. 2/5 times x. We could just write 2/5 x. It would mean the exact same thing. Number 12, 12, sorry. Half a number. Half a number. Ooh. I could put in a word, half of a number, minus 19. What should we write for half of a number? What does minus mean? Subtraction. So half of a number, of means multiply. So this would be half of a number, so half times the x, half of a number, and then subtracting 19. Half of a number minus 19. Okay back there, ladies? All right, here's another tricky one. 11 less than. Less than is one of those tricky phrases we have to be careful of. Does the 11 go at the beginning or does it go at the end? Yeah, the 11 less than must go at the end of our statement. Less than or subtracted from. Those are the two phrases that we have to be really, really careful about. So 11 less than is going to go at the end. What's a product? What does product mean? Multiplication. So we have the product of a number and 4. We don't know what the number is, so we're going to call it x. And 4. What are we multiplying together here? Negative 4 and the number, yeah. Negative 4 times x, or just negative 4x. That means the same thing. And now we can do the 11 less than. So since we have something, now we can say, let's remove 11 from that thing. 11 less than. So negative 4x minus 11. Number 14, the total. What does total imply? Addition, yeah. The total of 8 times a number and 5. The total of 8 times a number and 5. What should we do for 8 times a number? Multiplication. 8 times the number x. 8 times some number we don't know called x. And then the total is that thing and 5. So the sum of 8x and 5. The total of 8 times the number and 5. Those are pretty challenging. Number 15, the difference of a number squared and 14. What does difference tell us to do? Subtract, okay. A number squared, what is that? Do we know what the number is? No, we don't. It's a number squared. When do I... Yeah, with the power of 2. Yeah, so squared, that means it's got a power of 2. So we have a number squared, and then we want the difference of a number squared and 14. So we're going to subtract the two things there. The difference of a number squared and 14. That one goes in order. And 3/4 of a number. What should we do for 3/4 of a number? Multiplication. 3/4 times x, or 3/4 x. And then plus 17. What's plus 17? Addition. Addition by 17. 3/4 of a number plus 17. Beautiful. All right. I don't know that I want to do... Let's just do the first two here. Write each expression in words. What could we write in words for n minus 9? What could we say? A number minus 9. A number minus 9. Very good. Could I say 9 subtracted from a number? That would also work. A number decreased by 9 would also work. So there's lots of different ways to say it. What about this number 18 here? P over 8. What could we write for that? A number divided by 8. A number divided by 8. Or we could say the quotient of a number p and 8, the quotient of a number p and 8 would also work. Pretty interesting. All right, let's do the very last one. What can I do for 2y? What could I write for 2y? I could say 2. What do you got?
2 and a number plus 13.
So the plus 13 is good. How would we get what operation is between the 2 and the y? Multiplication, yeah.
Product.
The product of 2 and a number plus, that's kind of wordy. How about, what could I say, twice a number? That would be a real slick way to say that. Twice a number increased by 13. Increased by 13, maybe. We could also say the sum of twice a number and 13. That would also work. Those are hard. All right, those are tricky. The sum of twice a number and 13, or twice a number increased by 13, all work. All right, do you guys have any questions for me? All right.